Well, hey, friend, welcome back to the podcast. This is Jennifer. I'm going to talk to you today about some things that you are going to need if you're trying to design, your first homepage for your website, or the perfect homepage for your website, or any homepage for your website. And I'm excited to chat with you because there's lots of things that you could put on the homepage, but there's some things that you definitely want to make sure that you have. You want it to be professional, and also not too much. You want it to be beautiful, but also not like overstimulating, right? And so we're going to just talk about some things that, working with thousands and thousands of clients, like some things that I'm always seeing that I tell people, like, you want to make sure that these are the things that you have so that your website is going to actually convert, right? Because the truth of the matter is, if you there's two things that are hard, right? Like, one is getting traffic to your website where people can buy your product, sign up for your coaching, join your monthly group, find out about you, see what you sell, all those things. So one thing is getting people there. And then the other thing is keeping people there. And so there's some tricks to doing both of those things that I want to give you here on this podcast. Okay. Real quick though, I would love to read this review from somebody whose name is QHI. And I'm not even going to try to pronounce that because I'm sure I'm going to get it wrong. But here's what it says. It says, I love that Jennifer points people back to Jesus. And I love how personal this podcast is to me. I'm always looking for tips to better myself and my business. And I believe Jen gives that on the podcast. What more could one ask for? Thank you so much for providing great content for this mother of six. Well, listen, I would just love to tell you, and her name is actually someone QHI. So someone, I just want to just say, first of all, thank you. And I just pray a blessing over you and your business. I'm honored that you listen to the podcast. And I just want to bless those 6 kiddos also. And what a legacy you are in the process of building. What a great mother I believe that those 6 children have. So kudos to you for understanding your priorities and actually living them out. The Lord is showing me that as I'm praying for you. So I just bless you in Jesus' name. So yeah, we appreciate podcast reviews so much. Okay, so who has a pen and a paper? Because if you do, we're going to keep this short and tight because the last thing you need is another 45-minute podcast that you don't have time for, okay? But I do want to give you, I've got, I think, 5 things here right off the bat that I want to make sure on the homepage of your website that you have, okay? Number 1, I want to make sure that you have like a great headline and like a sub-headline maybe where people know exactly what your business is and how you can help them. So right now, I think if you go to jenniferallwood.com, it's going to, say like, hey, I'm Jennifer and I teach women how to build a business in the online space while keeping, their faith and their families as their main priorities, something along those lines. If you go to jenniferallwoodhome.com, it's going to say something along the lines of glam and colorful projects for the home. So people need to know when they get to your website, what it is that they're even seeing. Does that make sense? And sometimes what I have realized in working with clients is that sometimes we're so close to our business, it's like we can't see the forest for the trees. And because we know so intricately, is that the word? Deeply what it is that we do, we assume that it'll be really obvious for other people. And the truth is you want to pretend you're seeing your website through the eyes of a stranger for the first time. So be real uber clear above the fold. That means you don't want anybody landing on your website and having to scroll down at all. Okay. So that's one thing. Make sure you have a great headline and a subheadline. Number 2, make sure you have like a hero image. Okay, what's a hero image? Well, if you go to either of my sites, jenniferallwood.com, jenniferallwoodhome.com, you'll see a hero image on both. One of them is me in the house because it's my home website. The other one is me looking coachy, looking business coachy. Okay, that's a hero image. Now listen, I can already hear some of you saying, nope, I'm just going to have my logo. Well, logos are fine and dandy, but logos are also, so 1990. No, I'm kidding. You still need a logo, but people don't connect with logos. People don't want to buy from a logo. People don't want to get to your website and just see the company name and the logo, and they need to see either a hero image of product, if you're selling product and it's just about the product, or you, if you're the brand. They've got to see one of them. And the hero image needs to be good. Okay. So listen, some of you are like, no, I do coaching, I do consulting, whatever, but I don't want my picture on there. Okay. Well, I'm not going to hire a coach when I don't know what they look like. I'm not going to be doing any consulting when I have no idea It's like a mystery person. It's like in the Wizard of Oz when they're talking to, is it the wizard they were talking to? And like, you never see a face. You're like, who are you actually talking to? Don't be Wizard of Oz-ish. Okay. Let's get your face up if you are the brand on your website. Now that brings me to the next thing, because there's going to be some of you that are like, but I don't like to have my picture taken, but do you like to make money? I don't want anybody to take a picture of me. Would you rather starve? Now I know that feels probably, what do I want to say? Like dramatic, if you will. But the truth is, like, get a good photographer. I don't care if you don't like taking photos. This is part of business. And you need a good cover photo on your Facebook page anyway. You need a good headshot for your Instagram bio picture and your Facebook picture as well. And then you need something good on your website. So hire somebody that does brand photography, hire a great photographer, and maybe consider not trying your friend's nephew's brother's dog sitter's wife, because even though I'm sure she's a nice person, like, have you considered and ever looked at her website? Or who she's used to photographing. If she normally photographs newborns, she might not be the person, although cheap, she might not be the person that you want to take your photo that's going to be on your website. Okay. So you need a hero image. If it's not you, if it's you sell earrings, and I want to see your earrings either on you or on a model or in a beautiful flat lay, but then your hero image needs to be fabulous. It can't just be something that you're taking off your phone where the lighting's like meh, because meh doesn't make sales. Ooh, that's tweetable. Except it's not going to make sense to anybody but you guys. Meh isn't going to make sales. The hero image matters. Okay. You need to have good lighting. You need to have, it just needs to be good. And so what I always suggest is if you're going to hire somebody to do a photo for you, make sure they understand where you're going to use it. We just recently did a photo shoot, and she'll take some of them, like with me on a gray wall that's currently in my house, way off to the side. That way there's plenty of like white space, even though it's a gray wall, that the girls on, that work for me can use it on my website and put words off to the side or whatever. But you want to make sure that whoever's taking the photographs understands what you're going to be using it for, so they can wrap their head around why it's needed. Does that make sense? Like we did on my last photo shoot, some for the website and others just for social media, which means I don't need to be way off to the side. We can have anything going on around me. We literally, we used my neighbor's backyard for a couple of photos recently because they have a stream behind their house. And they were in the shade, and the fence around their pool is nice and shaded. The fence around my pool has got full sun. So we went there. We found some walls here in Kansas City and went and took a bunch of photos. When we were just in Scottsdale, we used a company called Flytographer. My friend Jamie Bright told me about Flytographer. You can go Google that and find them also on Instagram. You can go to their website, flytographer.com. And by the way, not sponsored, but when you're traveling to a different city, that's how they will help you find a photographer in the city that will take, in our case, we did family photos, and then we did some brand photos for Facebook and Instagram as well while we were there. So photos, friends, get some photos taken. Remember that this should be a tax write-off for your business. Of course, check with your accountant because I do not give financial advice. However, it should definitely be a write-off. So ask the person who does your books. Okay. Third thing, you're going to need a really good opt-in and or a really good pop-up. Okay. What are you talking about? Okay. So you know how when you land on somebody's website and within like, the first minute, something will pop up on the screen. It's a big box and it says, hey, would you like a coupon? That is a pop-up because it pops up on your screen. You're going to want one of those. It helps get people onto your email list. Little side note here. You do not want that thing popping up in the first 30 seconds. Make it delayed by at least 30 seconds. Why, Jen? Well, because otherwise you're asking somebody for a second date before you've even gone on the first date with them. It feels yucky. When I land on somebody's website for the first time and that pop-up hits me in the first 10 seconds, 100 million% of the time, I click the X up in the corner. I never give them my email. Why are you asking for my email when I haven't even figured out if I like you? That feels yucky to me. That feels fast. Slow your roll. So I tell all my coaching clients, slow your roll at least 45 seconds before that pop-up triggers. Okay. That's one thing. You don't want your pop-up to be boring. So it can't just be, get on my newsletter. Nobody wants a newsletter. Now it could be, here's a freebie for you. It can be like right now, I think you can get, 30 Instagram story ideas. If you go to jenniferallwood.com, go there and look, and you'll see what my opt-in is. If you sell a product, it could be 15% off your first order. It can be come here. But what you're wanting people to do is put in their email, and then you're going to send something to that email. Why is that important? Well, anytime you have anything coming up in the future for sale that you're launching, products that are new, whatever, you want people on your email list. You have to be building an email list as you're growing your business. So make sure that you have a pop-up and or, an opt-in. It doesn't have to pop up on the screen, but it can be over to the side on the bottom, but you want to get people's emails. Okay. Number 4, make sure you have your socials on your homepage. So that means I want to know how to find you also on Facebook and or Instagram and or Pinterest, whatever your main ones are. I don't want to see 24 of them, but I would like to see, maybe your top 3. So make it easy for me to find you on social. And number 5, I always want to make sure that there is a tab, that there is something for me to be able to contact you if I have questions, or maybe the help, chat box pop up down at the bottom. But I want to make sure that I am able to send in questions if I've got questions, and be able to contact somebody, either you or your team. So those are the top 5 things. Okay. Let me give you the recap. Number 1 was a great headline and subheadline. Number 2 was a hero image. Number 3 was a pop-up or an opt-in. Number 4 was your social handles. And number 5 is a contact spot, whether a tab or down at the bottom. Okay. Let me give you just a few other thoughts here. Okay. If you are having somebody design your website for you, I always suggest that my clients look at other people's websites, both in their industry and out of their industry, just to get some inspiration, to figure out what it is that you like. If you, love the way the navigation works on one site, like make note of that for the person that's making your website. If you like the feel of it, because it feels like, for my brand, we're very colorful. So I'm always drawn to colorful websites. If you like the simplicity of a site, I would write that down. If you like the really clean colors of a site, I would write that down. But whenever somebody is helping you to build your site, boy, that's really, really helpful for them to know. And, we currently have, for my next level clients that are in my mastermind right now, we have a VA service. So they're able to hire one of our internal VAs to help them on the website. We also do website reviews for people that are in my mastermind. And if you're kicking yourself that you didn't get in, by the way, send me a DM on Instagram, or you can go to creatorsnextlevel.com and check out my mastermind there. But these are all things that we're coaching on in terms of website, and that the women that are working for my VA service know to be making sure that they are including when they're building websites or changing or editing websites that are already established. Okay. So make sure that your website is going edge to edge on the screen. You can no longer have a website that just takes up the middle of the screen, with a pattern on the sides. It looks very outdated. And what happens is when somebody lands on your website for the first time and they see that, and instinctively in their brain, they're going outdated. Okay, number 1. And number 2, if their website's outdated, is their service outdated also? Is this sketchy? Should I actually give them money? Am I about to get scammed? It's amazing how our brains go on this rabbit trail, squirrel, based on the fact of just appearances. We live in a world where appearances matter. We would like to pretend that they don't, but they do. And your website is an appearance, and your website cannot look like it's 5 years old, even if it is, because it turns people off and you're losing sales. Okay. So, I wanted to tell you also another thing that we've noticed as we're doing reviews for people's websites is that there's a lot of duplication and repetition, meaning you land at jenniferswebsite.com, and then you also have the logo up in the corner that says Jennifer's website. And then you have the big name at the very top, which says Jennifer's website, and then a huge description on Jennifer's website. And it's just so much Jennifer. Does that make sense? So make sure you don't have a logo on top of a logo, on top of the URL, on top of, the name of the business again. Like, it's just too repetitive, and people want to start seeing your products or how you can serve them with your service immediately. So I hope that is helpful. As I said, make sure you're not asking people to sign up for your newsletter or be the first to know. Nobody cares if they're the first to know. Nobody cares that you have a newsletter. So it's going to have to be something juicier than that. There's going to be, get my list of 12 ways to make sure you get a good night's rest tonight. That. I'm trying to think of some of the women that are currently in my coaching group. Get my top 6 gluten-free cupcake recipes here. We have a woman who just did an opt-in for, I think it was her top 3 painting techniques for furniture. Get my top 3 painting techniques for furniture here. We had another woman who raises chickens. And so she was doing, a freebie on teaching people how to start raising chickens. So anything like that, something free that they'll put in their email address, you'll email it to them, then they're on your email list. You've got to have something like that. Okay. Another thing I wanted to make sure I mentioned is having too many calls to action. Too many places for people to go, too many tabs at the top, like 5 at a maximum of 7, but don't do anything more than that. But keep it simple. Okay. I want you to think of the majority of the people you know, or even your own shopping and scrolling habits. Okay. What do most overwhelmed people do? They stop. This is why so many entrepreneurs quit when they're overwhelmed in business. This is why we have so many people who end up leaving my monthly coaching group because of overwhelm, because they're like, I can't do all the things. Well, you're not supposed to do all the things. You're only supposed to watch what you need to watch. And then a lot of them will end up coming back, which I absolutely love. But think of what overwhelm does to you. It makes you quit and leave, right? So if somebody lands on your website and they feel overwhelmed, what are they going to do? They're going to quit and leave. They're going to X out, and you don't want them to do that. You want them to stay. So you want your website to feel light, easy to navigate, not difficult to understand, crystal clear on what it is that you do, pretty to look at, and easy for them to give you money. Because at the end of the day, if you've got a website just to tell people who you are and what it is that you do, but you don't have a place for them to put in their debit card, then what's the point? I mean, the whole point of a website, by the way, is to make sales. So that's the last point. Make sure you do have some place on your website, whether it's your homepage or a tab or a go here for my shop, where people are able to put in a debit card and pay you. I don't have this in my notes, but I'll mention this just for fun. We noticed about a 40% increase in sales when we started allowing PayPal as a way of people to give us money. Is it a pain? It is. But when I have the option of going upstairs to get my credit card or just clicking the PayPal button when I'm buying, 100% of the time I do buy now with PayPal. And I'm guessing you do as well. So make it easy on your people to give you money. Okay. I hope that this was super helpful for you. If you know of somebody who's just starting a business, just starting a website, just getting kind of up and running, or who said to you recently, gosh, I need a website, will you send this to them? Because I do think sometimes we, especially as women entrepreneurs, we get really overwhelmed, especially if you're creatives, at the idea of all the techiness of the site. You don't even know where to start and, yada, yada. Okay, so find somebody to do it for you. If you're in one of my coaching groups, especially if you're in my mastermind, we have people, okay? But knowing kind of what makes a good homepage on the website, I think is super important. So I hope that this was helpful. Bless you, my friend. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.